Hi. So today what we're going to do, we're going to install agents to our SCOM environment. So let's go ahead and get started. So let's go ahead and open up the SCOM console. So in our previous session, we have allowed our systems to communicate with each other across the firewall. So as traffic is coming from, or as long as the traffic is originating from our SCOM server, our firewalls throughout our environment will allow that traffic through right now, or it should, assuming that the policy has applied on all the servers that's participating. So to install an agent, we need to, once we're in the SCOM console, we can go over to administration, and then we can go to the discovery wizard that's listed here, or we can click on agent managed and right click and go to discovery wizard from there. So discovery wizard. And then in this case, we'll select what type of device we're going to be installing. In this case, we're just installing Windows computers. So let's say Windows computers and say next. Then you have a few options here. You can do an automatic computer discovery where it can go and search your Active Directory environment for all Windows-based computers and then deploy the agent out to everything or a certain subset. You can apply filters. You can do an advanced discovery. So you can say we want to go and install on servers and clients throughout the environment. And then we can select which management server we want to deploy to. So if you have multiple management servers in the environment, those would appear in this drop-down list here. And then also you can have it perform an additional test to just verify that it actually can contact the system that you want to deploy the agents to. So I'm going to do the advanced discovery and then just say next. And then here you can go and have it scan. Again, you can have it scan for Active Directory. You can specify the various filters and things like that you can use. If you have multiple domains, they will appear in this drop down here. And then, or you can go for browse for or type in computer's name here, where you can just type in the name of the systems you want to add, or you can hit browse and then you can search Active Directory for those server names as well. So you have a few different options. So I'm going to go back a screen here. Let's go back and go back to automatic computer discovery. So in a large environment, you probably maybe not want to install agents on everything in the environment. In my case, since I'm using this small lab environment that I've been slowly building up and adding complexity to, I'm going to go ahead and allow the automatic computer discovery because I actually do want to install an agent on everything that's on my domain at this point in time. So I'll go ahead and say next. And then I can allow it to use the selected management server action account. So if you recall, if you previously were watching some of the videos during the installation of SCOM 1801, it prompted me for a SCOM action account. So by default, that account normally wouldn't have any permissions to log into any other server in your environment outside of your SCOM server. So it would be a local administrator account on your SCOM server at installation time, but it won't have any access to any other system on your domain in order to, as far as logging into it and deploying agent, anything like that. I've done some modification in my environment where my action account does have rights to log into systems on my domain and has rights to push agents and other things like that. Your mileage may vary, but in most environments, like I said, this won't work unless you go and do some extra steps to allow that account to have permissions. And in most cases, what you're going to end up doing is you'll select the other user account option, and then you'll specify a username and password that has local administrative rights on the systems that you want to deploy the agent to. And then you also have an option if you want to deploy using a local computer account. But again, it will need to have some type of local login and local administrative rights in order to do that installation. For my purposes, I'm going to try to use that selected management server action account. And go ahead, hit discover. So what that should be doing in the background is going to go ahead and connect to AD and go and try to find any systems that I have on the domain. So as you can see, there's actually 5 systems here. So I think 4 of these 4 here, they have been shown me building those systems out in previous videos. But this WS Insider, that one I don't believe I showed the building of that system or even explain what that one is for. That may be for another time. So I will go ahead and try to install to all 5 of them. So I could have select all, or say if I didn't want to do that one, I could just uncheck the box, and you have options deselect all, select all to install. And then there at the bottom is just telling me, hey, I'm going to install and deploy from this management server, SCOM Stack 1. And then I can have two different modes for management mode, agent or agent list. So I would say in most cases you want to use agent. I tend to not use agent list for really any purpose for the most part. So for any system that I really want to monitor, I'm using SCOM. I typically really want to deploy an agent out to that system for the and with that, some management packs don't support agentless, so you in some cases you get less functionality. In a lot of cases, you get a lot less functionality by going the agentless route. So I'm gonna go ahead and say agent, say next, and then this screen is just telling me a summary of what's about to happen. So it's saying, okay, we're about to install 5 agents. It's going to try to install it on wherever the program files is located on that system. It was on the C drive, D drive, or whatever drive it's located on. And then it's going to set up the services that it's installed. Those services will run as a local system account, which is the default setting, and it's a setting that I'm going to use. But you do have an option if you wanted that account to not run as local system. If you wanted to run as another, like just another domain account that's like a least privileged type of account, that's an option as well. But for the purpose of this, I'm going to leave it at local system. And go ahead and say finish. So assuming if my policy has applied to allow the firewall communication to all of these servers, if that have successfully applied to all the servers, and assuming that my action account have rights in each one of these systems, these should all go and install successfully. If not, I may get an error or so on some of these. So we'll see how that goes. So far, no errors so far, so that's a good sign. Normally, if like there's a firewall issue or something blocking the traffic, these they'll fail out pretty rapidly. And then also, if I was getting like a logon failure, they'll tend to fail pretty quickly and give you like an access denied or something similar. So right now, so far, it looks like I'm in pretty good shape, where these are I'm going and able to install. And a common thing that I see that I've seen some people will try to do with SCOM from time to time is that they'll make their SCOM action account like a domain administrator, and that I highly do not recommend you ever do that. It doesn't need that many rights. It should not have domain administrator rights across your network. I definitely consider that to be a major security risk for the most part if you have that type of setup. It's okay for it to have like local login rights or local administrator rights on the system, or even better is to have maybe local login rights and then give granted access to certain performance logs and things like that, so it can gather the data that you want to monitor to restrict the account access to various different things. So it looks like we're making progress. It looks like 2 of them so far have installed successfully, and the other ones are still in progress. So we'll give that a few more minutes, and it should hopefully all of these should come back successful. So everything appeared to install successfully, so that went pretty smooth. So some of the changes that I made behind the scenes, as far as giving these systems, giving my action account permissions, and also like showing, allowing the traffic from SCOM to push the agent to start from, those things were all successful and applied successfully to my systems through group policy. So I'm going to go ahead and say close. So now what's going to happen in the background, these agents will start getting configuration data from the management group and start effectively start monitoring themselves and submitting alerts and things like that back into the management server as things happen. So hopefully this video has been useful to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.